It is November.
That's right.
You know what we're thankful for? We're thankful for some hairspray.
No more horror movies.
No more horror movies. Oh, I made it out of October, guys. I don't know how, but somehow I did. It's Refried Scenes today.
And we're going for something completely different.
Whoa, talk about different than your standard horror fare. It is something that couldn't possibly not be further from the truth, from the subject.
Yeah, we rolled number 12, and number 12 was Hairspray.
All right, so before we get into do we want to give them one more explanation of what our rolling is all about?
Yeah, so what we decided is rather than trying to come up with remakes on the fly during an episode, I came up with a list of 20 movies that had been remade, so movies and their remakes. And we were going to roll a 20-sided die because we're geeks and stuff like that.
This is true.
But I keep forgetting the die. So I have the list and a randomizer on my phone. And so we're kind of rolling the die by hitting a button on my phone.
So we're new age geeks. We're just letting technology do the work for us, I guess.
And last month, wow, we rolled
3 years ago last month.
Yes, we rolled a 12. And that 12 was Hairspray.
No. You sent me that message, and I was like, why did I agree to do this show?
Hey, you looked at the list and said everything was fine except True Grit.
Yeah. Should have looked twice. Yes.
It would have been 13 if it...
You're not wrong. So do you have some sitting in reserve
yes.
for when we do? So there's something that's already going to fill that 12 spot.
Yeah, they're going to start bumping up.
Okay.
I moved a lot of the horror down into the 20s range, so because we did so many horrors.
Oh, you don't say.
I know,
All right, then.
And it's like throwing Suspiria and a bunch of gory horror on there.
I still say we save it for next year's Halloween. Right?
I'm okay with that. We've got enough in the 20 range that even if things move up,
we should be good to go.
Good, yeah.
All right, that sounds good. So this episode, we are talking about some Hairspray.
Yeah.
Now, I willingly had never seen these movies. I'm not a big musicals guy.
Had you seen any John Waters?
I thought you were asking me if I'd ever seen the Ricky Lake show.
Oh, no.
The answer
Have
is
you seen
yes. No. I'm very well aware of who John Waters is, but I've just never strayed into his genre, we'll say.
This is probably his most accessible movie. So
yeah, it seems, with the little bit of research I did, that people say this is his most tame film.
This and Crybaby, I think, are probably his tamest.
He did Crybaby?
Yes, he did.
That Johnny Depp?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
So, 1988.
1988.
This is the first time somebody gave John Waters a budget.
What and how is my question, because he made things before this. Did they look in there like this man deserves money?
I think it was based on Polyester. Polyester was the film he did prior to Hairspray.
Mm-hmm.
It had a good showing in the theaters for its budget, which was nothing, and I think mostly spent on Tab Hunter.
Yeah.
And if you want to see Divine and Tab Hunter make out, Polyester is your movie.
There it is. Everything you've wanted to come true already exists in this world.
So when Polyester did somewhat well, New Line took a chance and gave him a modest budget.
Sometimes you got to gamble on somebody.
Yeah. What is the budget for this film? $2 million.
And it made
8.5.
8.5. So I would say it damn well made its money back.
And it became kind of a really big hit on VHS.
Okay. All right.
This was in the blockbuster
after
era.
The fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you consider this a cult film? Or
yes.
No? Yeah.
I would. Well, not as much as Pink Flamingos.
No. You know what? Yes, I have seen parts of Pink Flamingos.
Okay. So you've probably seen the bad parts of Pink Flamingos.
Also, there's good parts.
No. Pink Flamingos is a difficult film to recommend.
Okay. All right. Then you got to be really close with somebody to recommend that
Any early John Waters, Mondo Trasho, Multiple Maniacs, it's all very weird and very drug-fueled. He will openly admit that it's very drug-fueled.
Is Waters still making film?
No, I think he's mostly doing writing now. And he does spoken word tours occasionally.
All right, then just cultivates that damn mustache.
Yeah, that little tiny lined mustache. And he'll do appearances in other things. I mean, he does show up in the 2007.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he's got his little bit in Big Lebowski there.
Yeah, and he is also in the 88 version as well, but which he directed. But I don't think he's directed anything recently.
Okay, cool.
He's just become this cult figure He does a lot of hitchhiking around Baltimore. So if you're driving around Baltimore,
Oh no!
you may find him on the side of the road
They
looking
find
for a
John
ride.
Waters, just all the old man Waters these days.
Yeah.
Just look for the man with the pencil thin mustache. Ready to flash you. Now, do you remember seeing this Hairspray for the first time?
Yeah, I saw it in the movie theater actually.
Okay.
This was the first John Waters film I had actually saw,
Mm-hmm.
and I had heard good things about it, and I actually adore the '88 version.
Okay.
It's kitschy and hammy
Those are good words.
and very cheesy.
Oh, even better word.
And it is very tame for John Waters. Because what happened was I saw Hairspray. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this kitschy guy.
Yeah, let's see
so
what
I'm
else
gonna
he's got
what else
out
he's got,
there.
and I watch Pink Flamingos.
Oh, no.
And then it's like that's got Divine eating dog shit and
Yes.
a sex scene that kills a chicken.
Yes. Yes.
And Edie the egg lady, and I can't eat eggs for weeks after watching that. So yeah, I was like, okay, so he's different.
To put it very mildly.
But yeah, and his early stuff where they had no budget at all and they were just filming on the fly in Baltimore is bizarre, just bizarre.
Yeah.
But yeah, he always had Divine do weird shit. I mean,
Yeah, that's you know what, the Academy. I think that it's just the Twitter handles at the Academy. This, you know, the people who host the Oscars. They tweeted out earlier today, "Who are some of your favorite director-actor pairings?" And man, I was hoping for somebody who's going to say John Waters and Divine. Fortunately, I did not see it.
She was game for anything.
Yeah.
She got raped by a lobster and multiple maniacs. She actually ate dog shit for Pink Flamingos.
Sometimes you find that person that'll go the distance for you. That's a true friend right there.
And this is her last film.
Okay, all right.
It's not her last released film, but it was her last filmed film.
Film. Okay.
Yeah, because there was she was in Out of the Dark. Now, okay, so Divine. We got to talk about Divine first. Divine is the drag queen that stars in a lot of early John Waters films until her death. There was Divine, and then there was Glenn Milstead. Mm-hmm. And Glenn Milstead is in a little horror film called Out of the Dark, which came out after Hairspray. So technically, that is Divine's last film.
Okay.
Glenn Milstead also shows up in Hairspray.
Oh, really?
Yes, he is the TV show or the
network executive.
The network executive.
That's
Yes.
like I kept looking like, why does he seem familiar? It's because I just saw him 2 seconds ago on the screen.
And the weird thing is, in my brain, Divine is Divine, and whenever she shows up as Glenn Milstead, my brain goes, "Oh, it's Divine in guy drag." It never clicks that Divine was a guy.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So, but her IMDb page is Divine.
Yeah.
Wikipedia, Divine. So,
do you have an IMDb page?
No, I don't.
Would it say Carol Coles or would it say Carol the Cat Coles?
It would probably say Carol J. Coles.
Okay, all right then. Oh, a very professional name.
Yes.
Excuse
Eventually,
me.
when I get published, it'll be Carol J. Gray because that is my writing name.
Okay, well then.
Or just CJ.
Be on the lookout for it.
Yeah.
CJ Gray. Boom!
CJ Gray.
It rolls off the tongue too. You got the latest CJ Gray. You don't want to boycott in the store forever. All right, let's get into this bad boy.
Okay, 1988. It is Baltimore.
Yeah, I was like,
okay, this doesn't take place in 1988. It actually takes place in 1962.
Yeah, it's a little period piece for you here.
Yeah. And our lead is Tracy Turnblatt,
Yes.
played by newcomer Ricky Lake.
fresh round face Ricky Lake.
Yes. Before the Jenny Craig. Was she Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers?
I think she was
remember.
Weight Watchers.
Yeah, before the Weight Watchers, she was plump.
First scene, just off the bus running at full speed. I was like, wow, this is how you start a movie.
She's got some energy in this film.
She does.
For someone who's been on the hefty side.
All the moving and the dancing she does.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's young in this. Young people have boundless energy,
Yes.
not like us.
Yeah.
The alarm goes off and I wake up and I'm like, well, that just took all my energy out right there.
You know, when you're an adult, when you get used to the taste of ibuprofen.
Yes, I'm kind of chalky today.
Her and her best friend Penny are running home to watch the Corny Collins show, which is this kind of Dick Clark dance show in Baltimore.
Basically a Dick Clark type show.
Yeah. Where they have a council, a Corny Collins council of teens that dance on the show every week. Mm-hmm. And Tracy wants to be a part of the council.
This is almost like White Soul Train.
Yes. Very much so.
That's what this is. Minus the magnets to move around.
So you get lots of shots of teens dancing, like the mashed potato and the twist and all these early 60s dances.
Do love the mashed potatoes.
Yes, so do I.
Yeah, I love that
I
dance.
actually love the Madison, too. That's shown later on.
Yeah. I was watching an old clip of Sammy Davis Jr. perform, and he flows through like 3 different dance styles back to back to back. And the very last one he does a little bit of mashed potatoes in there. I was like, Sammy, do it, Sammy, yeah.
So on the council is Link. Link, oh God, what's his
horrible
Link?
name.
Yeah, his name is Link.
Not to be confused with Zelda.
I never remember this guy's
Link
name.
Lighter.
Link Larkin.
Link Larkin. Oh,
Link Larkin.
Unfortunate name for that poor
Who's
man.
the dreamboat on the council, and his girlfriend Amber Von Tussle.
You know he's a dreamboat because he's got the Superman curl that comes
he's got
down.
The little curl.
Yeah.
And Amber Von Tussle is the antagonist of the film, basically. Her and her parents, Deborah Harry and Sonny Bono.
Yeah, which I was like, wait, that's Sonny Bono?
That is
okay.
Sonny Bono, yes.
All right.
Amber is, of course, a snob. And you get a nice shot of her. She has to cut a date short because she's got a pimple. And she's got to go home and mom's got to pop it for her.
Yo. So the pop sound effect, well, I was like, but then the splat when she tosses
pure
it.
John Waters. So this is a very simple movie. Tracy just wants to be on the council. She goes to tryouts and she's told, well, Amber is very rude to her.
Yeah, Amber's quite
Incidentally,
rude.
Amber is played by Vitamin C, who was part of the alternative band Eve's Plum.
Well, I've never heard of this a day in my life. Now,
her stage
Eve's
name
Plum was the group. Her name in that group was
is
Vitamin C.
Yes, her actual Wikipedia page is under Vitamin C. That's her stage name now.
Now,
And she is now the president of music for Nickelodeon.
So she came up in the world, huh? She came up in the world.
I used to listen to
so
Eve's Plum. I liked Eve's Plum, but
what kind of music did they do?
it's more alternative rock.
Okay, all right then.
But
All right. Interesting. Does she have any musical pieces in here?
No, the first movie is kind of a musical, but nobody sings. It's all just music. Music's playing
while they dance.
Yes, while they dance.
Yeah, that's right.
But nobody actually sings.
Music doesn't drive the plot of the film.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
So Tracy tries out for the council and is voted on because Amber is very rude and Corny tells her that she's in timeout, basically.
I am a huge fan of this Corny character.
So do I.
He's definitely a couple years ahead of his time.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
And Mink Stoll plays his assistant. Mink Stoll is in most of John Waters' films in some capacity.
Yeah.
That's not her real name, of course.
Just a whole bunch of aliases running around this
Don't
set.
ask what she did in Pink Flamingos. Good Lord. But Tracy's mother is played by Divine.
Correct.
Yes, Edna.
Just
Edna
ironing
Turnblatt.
all over the place.
I'm trying to iron. Yeah, turn the music down. I'm trying to iron.
I feel like Divine went to no formal acting school.
No.
But she does a good enough job.
She does a good job. Now, I have seen performances, mostly as Glenn, where it's been very subtle. But in any John Waters film, it's turned up to 15.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure that's what John wanted.
That's what he wanted, yeah. Everything here is just turned up a tiny bit too far. And it goes into the camp factor that he just loves.
Yeah, this is less teen drama than more of a satirization of.
Yes.
And when you satire, you definitely kind of want to kitsch up the cheesy factor.
Yeah, and her dad is played by Ben Stiller.
Jerry
Stiller, not Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller's dad.
The bro.
Yes. So he owns a joke shop.
Yes.
And Tracy gets onto the council and becomes incredibly popular with viewers.
Yeah. The one thing, I thought this movie was going to go one way. I thought it was going to go the standard cliche route of she's spurned and then she has to dance her way into the hearts of America and she's accepted at the end. They love her.
They love her
this.
Immediately.
Yes, and I love
She's
that.
a good dancer and she's very personable.
And earnest.
And she's very earnest and very happy.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem, she's not down on herself or anything because she's pudgy or anything. She gets a sponsorship from
The local clothing store? Or what?
clothing store. Oh God, what's it called? It's called, oh God, it's got the most horrible name.
I can't remember what the name of the clothing store
Something
was.
Hideaway. A Hefty Hideaway. Hefty Hideaway.
That's right. Hefty Hideaway.
Where he serves eclairs in the store because he doesn't want any of his customers to lose weight.
You know what, man? Hey, It's good business, man.
But
it's good business.
Yeah, that's when Edna, because Edna doesn't want her to be on the TV show because, oh my God, you're dancing to the black music, and oh dear. And but then Hefty Hideaway decides to sponsor her, and she gets free clothes too. So
she's like, all on board. Yeah, well, if I can get some
I'll
free
be
clothes,
your manager.
Yeah, she hopped on that train real quick.
Really quick.
Yeah.
So Tracy goes onto the show and meets Link, and Link is smitten almost immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no like, I have to win his heart or anything like that.
Link was just like, sup?
Hey, let's dance.
Get out of here, Von Tussle.
And yeah, she becomes incredibly popular.
Right.
And then she gets put into the special ed class because she's a hair hopper. And her hair is keeping kids from learning their geometry.
That's right, man. You got to be able to see the board.
So nobody can see over her head.
Yeah. I find it interesting that this movie is called Hairspray because of her giant hairdo and the necessary hairspray that takes. But the hairdo doesn't really factor too much.
No.
Into
I
the
think
movie.
it's just, I think he found a nice kitschy title and liked it.
You know, yeah, he's like, it's a one-word joint.
And
Boom.
The fact that not just the girls use the hairspray, the guys are shown doing the hairspray too.
Yeah.
So double cannon it, and just making sure their hair's not moving.
Shit tight, man.
So
we've graduated to LA looks now.
Yeah, that's right. Hairspray's bad for the environment.
The chlorofluorocarbon.
So she goes to special ed class where she meets Seaweed, who is the son of the local. So Corny Collins has a weekly show, and once a month we
get Negro Day.
Yes, where
and I feel like he had to fight for that one Negro
I think
Day.
he did. Yes.
Yeah.
Where the host of the show is Motormouth
Maybell,
who is a local kind of celebrity record store owner, and her son Seaweed is in the special ed class because the school is trying to keep the black kids down.
Yeah. I was watching this movie like, that makes sense.
Yep. 1962.
Yeah.
So Seaweed invites her and Link to his mom's shop where she brings Penny because Penny is enamored with Seaweed.
Yeah, Penny's like, oh, what's that dark meat
He's
over there?
gorgeous.
And I love that the detention is just, or the special ed class is just.
They're just like.
They're just fucking around.
They're just fucking around. They're throwing things, they're reading, they're dancing, they're just doing whatever the fuck they want because nobody cares.
Yep.
They do all sit down when the teacher comes in, but because then they have to go play dodgeball.
That's right.
Oh, God.
That's right.
The dodgeball scene, yeah.
I just assume for heftier kids, this is the gym class in general is a nightmare.
It's horrible, and dodgeball in particular because you're a target.
Yeah, you're the early. Yeah, we know we can pick off that person real quick.
Yeah, so which she is, she's picked off. But then Lynn's up. Tracy, are you okay? Will you go steady with me?
Yeah, at first I was like, is this a dream sequence? What? She didn't put any kind of work in for it.
No,
man.
and then
some people just got it like that.
Wearing his ring, dancing on TV.
Yeah,
and the Van Tussles, of course, are not liking this in the slightest because Tracy is now becoming more popular than Amber.
Yes, and Amber is supposedly set to win
it's like the car show queen.
Yes, car show queen.
Car show queen.
That's her whole desire in life.
Yes.
This
and Tracy is overtaking
petty motivation.
Her.
Yes,
is overtaking her. So she starts creating rumors. She's adopted. She's got roaches in her hair.
Right.
It's just, it's very.
In 2019, you're just like, what? That's the best you can come up with. But in the 60s, you're like, yo, that's fucked up.
Man, she's adopted.
Yeah.
I saw her making out with every guy on the football team. She was naked.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work because Tracy's very popular.
Yeah.
And
people saw her through that bullshit.
Van Tussle owns an amusement park that he is trying to keep segregated. Mm-hmm. And they try to, it's Young Person's Day on the Corny Collins show, and Seaweed tries to bring his little sister in and is turned away. And so they do a sit-in. It's like, no, we're going to, her and Penny and Edna gets out there as well, and they do a sit-in. And then they decide they're going to attempt to integrate
the
amusement park.
Yeah, that didn't go well.
No. Somebody lights a bunch of firecrackers, and the crowd kind of goes wild. And Tracy is arrested for being a rabble-rouser.
And that's in this scene. That's where you get Divine in her man drag queen form.
Yes.
And he's like, make sure this integration does not happen.
Never happen. Yes.
Yeah.
Divine always made a better looking woman, and that's
Yeah, like this ugly dude just looks on it so familiar.
yeah, that's saying a lot.
Look at this huge, tall dude, almost the exact same height as Divine.
And size.
And size, yeah.
Probably shop at the same place too. But yes, Tracy is arrested for being a rebel rouser and a hair hopper. They actually say that at her trial, I think, that she's a hair hopper.
She's a hair hopper. It's laws against hair hopping, you know.
We missed the beatnik part where they're running away from parents because they go to Maybelle's
That's right, yeah.
record
that
store,
thing, yeah.
and Penny's parents are like really ultra
Super conservative, let's
super
say.
conservative. Yes,
Yeah, that scene of her going to quote unquote the hood
Yes.
to get her daughter. I was like, all right, this is,
take all my money. Dude's just like, I just want a quarter.
yeah, it was a little bit over the top here. And you
What
run
I
to
loved is that he takes a quarter and then hands the rest back to her. Thank you.
runs to the police car, and it's a black police officer. Can I help you,
And
miss?
So she hires she gets Penny out of that situation and hires a psychologist to try and train her to like white boys.
And that's Waters.
That's
wasn't it?
John Waters.
Yeah.
Cattle prodding a little black boy's bad.
That's when I lost it, and I was like, okay, this movie's absolutely absurd.
Yes. But Tracy is thrown into reform school where she irons her hair because she learned how to iron her hair from Rick Ocasek and Pia Zadora, who play a couple of beatniks.
Hey, man, hair straightener, man. Sometimes
That's right.
Get that flat
So
iron.
she irons her hair. Amber wins the competition, but only by default
Yeah.
because Tracy has the most votes, but she's in reform school, so she can't. But that's okay because she gets out. Because Maybelle handcuffs herself to the mayor until he pardons Tracy Turnblad.
Yeah, and was in her daughter too, right?
Yes.
They're both handcuffed on
They're
each
both
side.
handcuffed on each side.
Bust up into his house.
Yep.
We're not going nowhere.
So
We're not
he
uncuffing you.
releases Tracy just in time for her to take the crown, win the guy. Amber's mother's hair blows out.
Yeah, so at this point, I knew that there was a bomb in her mother's hair.
in her mother's hair. Yes.
I was fairly done with this movie by this point. So I'm like, all right, Tracy has shown up. She's won it. The day is saved. I think I got the gist of this movie. And just as I was reaching for the controller, that's when the hair blew up. And I was like, oh, I forgot all about the hair bomb. So glad.
It gets stuck on Amber's head.
Yeah. Which to me kind of was symbolized.
Yes.
No matter what happens, she will always end up being her mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She never changes. She never learns.
No,
she will always
she
be
doesn't.
that person.
There's no like turnaround for Amber Van Tassel. She's
No.
led cricket kicking and screaming off.
That's
'Cause
true,
She
yeah.
won't let go of the throne.
Nope.
She's just like no.
Nope.
Wrapping her feet around. Like,
She voted for Reagan.
oh yeah. Oh absolutely. But yes, Tracy wins the guy, wins the competition, and does the roach.
Yep. And yeah, a new dance is created. I'm not sure when she had time to create this dance, but in
Or
reform
make
school,
this really lovely roach gown.
Yeah, she accepted the fuck out of that.
She's
She pulled the Eminem at 8 Mile. She's
That's
like,
right.
you know what? I'm
yeah.
just gonna
It's
make it
like,
about
I
me.
got bugs, and they put the bug. too.
One thing that we skipped over when Penny's mom was looking for her in the hood, I think it's in that scene, is a great scene where the music is coming out of Maybelle's, and then the guy who actually sings that song
Yes.
is the one who comes out.
Is
and
the
he's
one that comes out,
singing it.
yeah, because he's singing it, and it's really, I do like that Waters used real life singers for some of these roles.
Yeah.
And you know, I know it's a film made by a gay white dude, but I think it has a social message.
What do you think that message would be? I think there's going to be a couple of messages.
Oh yeah, it's a broad satire of race relations in America.
Yeah.
And it is kind of like, can't we all get along type thing.
I think it is. Yeah. I think.
And
there's
I
also-
think he also has the message that your conservatives, your hardcore conservatives, are never going to fucking change. They're never going to turn around, so you're going to have to beat them.
I think the power of music
Yes.
is also. I mean,
Yes.
music really does bring a lot of people
Yeah.
together.
And I
bond with
love the
people over music.
soundtrack to this film. I really.
He picks some. You know what I noticed, and I'm not sure if this is purposeful or not, but a lot of the music that white people are dancing to is very happy and
Yes.
upbeat. When you're listening to music that black people listen to, is very soulful, very,
Yes.
very blues downtrodden, as in white people are like, hey, everything's good for
Yes.
us. And black people are like, we're just trying to make it over here.
That's right. And even when he chooses black artists, it's like Chubby Checker is very happy, very upbeat, very you can
Yeah.
dance to it type things. But yeah, and he does actually use a couple of local Baltimore artists as well.
That's what's
so
up.
he's
That's what's up.
he's a Baltimore guy, and I
Deep in the
think
communities.
all of his films take place in Baltimore.
Hey man, represent your city. Is he born and raised?
Yeah,
Oh, hey, so he's the Maryland version of Kevin Smith.
yeah. I mean, if you look at movie maps where they say which movie,
This is John Waters, John Waters, John Waters, John Waters, John
I
Waters.
think Maryland is actually either usually Hairspray or Pink Flamingos. I think they'd rather go Hairspray.
yeah. Probably.
Either way, you're being
Probably.
represented by Divine.
So congratulations, Maryland. You're being represented by the Vine.
350-pound drag queen.
Just trying to iron them clothes out. Yeah, I enjoyed this movie far more than I thought I would.
I think it is very fun. It puts a smile on my face whenever I watch it.
Yeah.
I own this one. I kind of adore this film.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite John Waters. Crybaby is really close.
Okay. All right.
But he got, that has like Tracy Lords and Johnny Depp, and he got a bigger budget for that one because Hairspray did well.
Yeah.
So I just like the down home feeling and the gritty feeling of Hairspray.
Right. I can dig it.
When Tracy and Link are making out in the alley and she's like, this is just perfect. And she's kicking away rats.
Yes. It's like this nice little cutaway right there. Throw that insert in there, John.
And don't run, Tracy, you're in heels.
I like the fact that the issue that I have with the remake is they lean a little too heavy on weight jokes.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, she's just like, look,
just
ain't
whatever.
nobody shaming here. This is what I am, and I'm rocking
There's
it.
no shaming Edna either.
No.
She's just a large woman, does your laundry and does your ironing.
Yeah.
So why don't we get into the remake? So the remake is technically a film version of the Broadway show
Okay.
because they made a Broadway musical.
So the Waters joint came 1st, then the Broadway musical,
And then
this.
Then the movie of the Broadway musical follows almost the same exact story. It just adds musical numbers because it's a musical. I am not a huge fan of musicals.
Me either. I got Blues Brothers. And that's about where my list tops off.
And I don't even count Blues Brothers as
I will fight
There's
that
music?
tooth and nail until the day I die. The music drives
the plot. Okay, yeah, and but it's not a typical musical where the music tells you the plot.
Okay.
This does tell
That's
you
right,
the
yeah.
plot. It gives you characters. This showcases the characters via their song, which I'm never a big fan of. Some of these songs are okay. I mean, I like "Good Morning Baltimore,"
Yeah.
but
That's the movie. That's the song that starts off the movie.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
So we have what's her name, Nikki Blonsky?
Yeah. Nikki Blonsky.
Yeah, portraying Tracy in this one, and John Travolta playing Edna.
I see what they were going for here.
Okay. My first problem is Harvey Fierstein plays Edna on Broadway in the Broadway version of Hairspray.
Yeah.
They didn't hire him for this one because they pushed for the name, John Travolta.
Yeah. I mean, Travolta was not really selling much at this point, but,
But-
when you look at the rest of this cast, what name are you putting up there? Queen Latifah's
Michelle.
not going to pack them.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
What
But
was
not at
Pfeiffer
that
doing in
point.
07?
That's true. That's
yeah,
true.
I mean, yeah, you're not putting
Christopher
Teddy from
Walken.
Westworld on there. You're not
Yeah,
putting
or-
James Marsden in there.
Yeah. Or Zac Efron at that point was still a Disney property, I think.
Right. Yes.
I think
The body of Zac Efron was owned by Disney.
probably still
It
is.
probably still is. There's a little tattoo on his butt.
But yeah, so we open with Good Morning Baltimore, and it's basically, Tracy talking about her life and how happy she is, and the drunks that, say hi to her on her way to school. And I think that's why I like this song, because it is kind of gritty and yucky.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where
In
you
a
get
happy,
your
cheerful
flasher.
way.
Yeah.
You get your John Waters flasher moment. And it's the same thing. She wants to be on the council for Corny Collins. James Marsden plays Corny Collins.
Right.
I'm so used to the 88 version. This is the first time I saw this one.
This is the first time?
This is the first time.
Oh, okay.
I took one look at John Travolta on the posters and I went,
Nope.
no.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did, because damn, every time he opened his mouth, I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
What accent was he
I have
going for
no
there?
idea what accent he was trying to do.
Was he trying to do like a Baltimore? Because that's not Baltimore.
That's not Baltimore.
No.
I don't know what he was trying to do.
It's a person who lived 20 minutes out of Baltimore, I can guarantee you.
What's weird is when he sings, he doesn't use that accent.
No.
He just sounds like John Travolta singing.
Yeah.
But he tries to do that. I don't know. I can't even mimic it. It's
The
just so bad.
first time he spoke, I was like, the fuck is this? What is he talking about? What? He's trying to negotiate those pleats. But what are you doing?
Wait, what? That was my reaction. I had to pause the movie. I'm like, I don't know if I can sit through this. I don't know if I can sit through this. But, they have beefed up the Amber's mother's role, because that's now played by Michelle Pfeiffer.
Right. So if you're going to cast Michelle Pfeiffer,
Yeah.
you're going to use her, unless it's Ant-Man and the Wasp, and she's got 2 scenes.
Somehow found a Sephora in the micro world.
Came out looking fabulous.
Wow.
Yeah.
That eyeliner.
Right on, Jenna Van Dyke.
So, and she's, Amber's mother is now the TV station producer.
Yes, I like the different roles that they're given here.
They dispense with the dad.
Yeah.
There's a throwaway line where apparently she killed him. He tragically died of suffocation.
yes, that's right. And she is openly admitted to doing some quite seedy things in order to get success for her and her daughter.
Right.
And by seedy things, she's just fucked everybody.
Everybody that she possibly can find.
Yeah.
Because she's Miss Baltimore Crabs.
Yes. Which.
But she wants to be on the council. Here, they do throw up some roadblocks for her. She's not immediately accepted on the council.
Right, because I found that a little too convenient in the original.
Yeah, but I kind of liked the fact that the fat girl was just like, yeah, sure, come on.
Yeah.
Here, there are some roadblocks. Link doesn't want to be as socially conscious as Tracy does.
Yeah.
She does hook up with Link almost immediately.
Yeah.
Amber is, I can't even, Brittany Snow, I think, plays Amber. Yeah. Amber's role seems a little less in this one.
It's Brittany Snow.
She just seemed to fade into the background.
Yeah, once the movie really got going, she did just kind of fade into the
in favor of
background.
Michelle Pfeiffer, because you have Michelle Pfeiffer as her mother.
Right.
So yeah, whenever there was a Van Tussle, it was usually Michelle Pfeiffer.
Unless the scene is set in school.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it's kind of the same plot. The only major differences are Link isn't immediately part of the integration now, segregation never crowd.
Right.
And they made a major change for Edna. She's now agoraphobic and very conscious of her weight, and people make fun of her, which I disliked that part immensely.
People made fun of her, or just all of that?
All of that. I didn't like the fact that Tracy's mom is suddenly this shut-in who hasn't left the apartment in 17 years.
Yeah,
and
some Willy Wonka grandpa shit right
there. And was played by John No.
No, that's also not, yeah.
But I didn't like the changes they made to Edna.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Divine's portrayal of Edna was at least, she was just kind of like, she was very proud.
Yeah, she's very proud, and she's like, I don't have time to put your shit right now because I got things to do.
I got things to earn.
Yeah.
And Travolta's performance is just he's very meek. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
The only time I really enjoyed Travolta's performance is the number that him and Walken have.
Do. Yes,
yeah, they're the
Christopher
reconciliation.
Walken plays her dad.
Right.
Jerry Stiller shows up as the owner of the Hefty Hideaway.
He's the new Hefty Hideaway, and they have donuts instead of
Eclairs.
Yeah.
But yes, they didn't change the name of Hefty Hideaway, which I was surprised at.
Yeah, this is. I think as far as movies we've done, this is as close as beat for beat as we've gotten so far.
Except, they just throw in musical numbers.
Yeah. And more musical numbers.
And more musical numbers.
Right.
And
every 3 minutes.
Every 3 minutes they're breaking into song, and I realize it's a musical, but Christ, could we just speak some dialogue?
Yeah, I'm not.
It's not an opera.
I'm not familiar with a whole lot of musicals, so I'm not sure what the occurrence of songs are really in musicals. But this just seemed like a lot of fucking music.
And unfortunately, I never thought Zac Efron was has a great voice.
No, he's definitely more his pretty face than anything else.
And Brittany Snow doesn't have a great voice. A lot of these characters don't have great voices.
Right.
Now, in the case of Michelle Pfeiffer, who cares? She's Michelle Pfeiffer. And Christopher Walken, why would you not just want to hear him sing?
Yeah, because he just loves singing and dancing already. So you just let him sing and dance all you want.
Yeah. So I didn't mind the performances so much. I minded the music. It's just constant barrage of musical numbers.
And some of them were fairly good songs.
Yeah.
But I was just like, Jesus Christ, let's move this plot on, people.
Yeah. And this is much longer than the original, I do believe.
The original is just over an hour and a half. This is just under 2 hours, I think.
So it adds a good 25 minutes to it. And it's mostly all song. Here, Tracy is arrested for beating a cop.
that was humorous, the way they ratchet up the amount of violence against
hit him with a crowbar.
He's in fatal condition. Oh, he was a Vietnam vet. Oh, he was a Boy Scout too.
I can't believe Tracy hit that Eagle Scout with a crowbar. That was funny. I do there are some in-jokes that I could hear John Waters adding, like the fact that there's a seat on the council because one of the girls has to take a 9-month sabbatical.
And how long are you going to be gone for?
Just 9 months.
Wow, man, whatever James Marsden's character says in response to that.
He says, maybe we'll get somebody who's not quite as freewheeling. Just as happy, but not quite as freewheeling.
Matter of fact, James Marsden might be my favorite character in this whole show.
He's actually a pretty good corny.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah plays Motormouth Maybelle.
Great cast.
Yes.
Great cast.
Yeah. And anytime I can hear Queen Latifah sing, I'm happy. So it's not like there's bad music here. It's just so much of it.
It's voluminous amounts of music in this.
And everything is so bright and clean.
Is this supposed to be set in the 60s as
well?
Okay.
It's set in 1962.
Okay.
There's no integration of the amusement park because there's no amusement park owner. They've ditched Amber's dad. This is integration of the Corny Collins show.
Yeah. Yeah, what you think Corny Collins would... Well, I guess overall the network has.
Yeah, he tries because, what are you going to do? Fire me? It's a Corny Collins show.
Yeah, you can't fire Corny Collins from the Corny Collins show.
Right. And in the end, it's not Tracy who wins. The Miss Hairspray, because it's no longer a car show. The Miss Hairspray, it's Little Inez, it's Seaweed's sister.
Yeah, so I like that addition.
Yeah, I did like that. So
towards the end of this movie, everybody gets their piece.
Yeah,
everybody gets their piece,
including some old Ricky Lake has a solo. Harvey Fierstein has a solo in the end credits. It's everybody is come on in, sing a song, sing a verse, sing something.
Yeah, and Corny pulls Queen Latifah in, make sure you get your little piece in here.
Yeah, so the end seemed to go on forever.
That song is about 32 minutes long.
Yeah, I think that makes up the 30 minutes of
That's
extra
the whole
screen
third
time.
act.
But there's no bomb in the hair. There's no kitschy fun about it. It's just...
They played it safe.
They play it very safe.
Yeah, it's pretty by the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
You get a little bit more time, I think, at Queen Latifah, Mama Maybelle.
Yeah, Motormouth Maybelle.
Motormouth Maybelle. You get a little bit more time with them in the record store.
In the record store,
look, they're no longer. They're not even giving us the one Negro day we get.
Right. Because they're canceling that because Michelle Pfeiffer is the.
Yeah, make sure she put the chop on that.
Yeah. So it's. To me, it's a little more hard edge because they need to make the villains a bit more villainous and less cartoony.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked the cartoony nature of the first one.
Yeah, I think I like the over-the-top.
Yeah.
Over-the-topness. They tried to play this one fairly straight, where John Waters knew what he was trying to do. And he knew he wanted to go a little bit absurd with the whole idea.
Which is what he does best.
Yeah. I will say, as much as I I wasn't the hugest fan of Travolta's performance. There's the scene where they're at Motormouth Maybell's joint, and she's trying to take it home, and she's like, "But are you gonna give up this?" The camera cuts over that soul food.
This food?
This food, and I was like, "Well, I understand. I'm gonna stick around for that shit too."
And she does.
And she does. And she does.
And
is this braised?
And you don't get the psychiatrist, cattle prodding Penny.
Unfortunately, that's what this movie's missing.
I know
It's
missing that just, oh my God, absurdity.
Yeah, when you try to take an absurd premise, which is what I think the original Hairspray was, and try and play that straight, it will not always translate.
And
if you take something straight and then you try to turn it to something a little more absurd, you're gonna have a better success.
Right. Here they just tried to make it a pretty standard high school type musical.
Right.
And while it's kind of good, it's not great.
Not great. I think I will remember Hairspray, the original, more for the story. I'll remember the remake more for the music.
Right.
Than anything else.
Yeah.
Which I guess if it's musical, they probably want to remember.
Then that's probably what you want.
Yeah. So good on you.
I got it. Every time Travolta opened his mouth, other than to sing, I was just like, oh, God, what? I don't know what director told you to do this.
Or just allowed it to happen.
Yeah. It's like nobody stopped you and said, dude, what are you trying to do?
Day one on set, they should have been like, no, cut. Or rehearsals. So $75 million is what this movie cost. $202 million is what it made.
It did well.
It did well. They were going to make a sequel. They were going to make a sequel set in the 60s during the whole, I guess, what 60s would be Beatles.
During the mid-60s, yeah.
Beatles business. It was going to be called...
Hairspray 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Hairspray 2 White Lipstick.
Well, White Lipstick was John Waters' original title for Hairspray.
Oh, okay.
So,
all right, well, there you go. Paying a little bit of homage there.
Yeah, the studio asked him to change it, and he came up with Hairspray.
There, it makes sense. Makes sense. Apparently, Waters wrote a sequel for HBO, and they didn't go forward with it because they're like, we know you, Waters.
Yeah,
and that was just earlier this year. He was talking about it.
I wouldn't mind seeing like Link and Tracy now.
Yeah, like what are they up to?
What are they up to now?
What do you think about rap music?
Are they out there protesting Trump? Are they?
Oh, you know they are. I mean, their whole fight was with against injustice in general. I think anything like that, like, they would have protested Vietnam definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They weren't beatniks because they weren't drug heads and stuff like that. Oh my God! Don't imbibe in that, man. You'll get addicted.
They just knew what was
right.
What's the right thing to do.
And I think that comes across in a good way in the original, and it comes across kind of overhanded in the musical.
Yeah, which the original kind of took me by surprise because that's not Edna at all in the beginning. She's like, "You're listening to that colored music." Yeah. I think that those ideas might have come more from Jerry Stiller's character, who was a lot more chill and laid back character. Yeah, and we didn't talk a lot with Chris Walken, but he was definitely more supportive of it. Hey, go out in there and do your thing. You're going to get one shot at it.
Yeah. I didn't mind Walken in the role. Yeah. But then anytime, again...
name a bad Walken role.
Captain Hook in that horrible live Peter Pan. Oh, my God.
Well, it came out like 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, never watched it. Never will.
Just YouTube some of his scenes. He is so bored.
Yeah.
He's so bored.
Oh, man. I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you, Chris.
But I love watching him dance because people don't expect him to dance. I
love watching him dance because I know that he loves dancing. Yeah. So it's just an old man out there enjoying himself.
Yeah, and that seems to be his take on this role. It's like, I'm just going to enjoy myself. What the hell?
Enjoy myself and get paid $1 million or $2 million for it.
Yeah.
So I think in the end, that is definitely a big, heavy favorite on the original.
Yeah. It is my favorite John Waters film. Mm-hmm. So, and I like John Waters. He's an acquired taste.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Yeah. Even with his one maybe 1.5 scenes in Lebowski. I was like, whoever this dude is, he's a weird cat.
And when he shows up in The Simpsons, he's weird. When he shows up anywhere, he's weird.
Is he weird or is he just John Waters?
I think he's just John Waters.
Yeah.
I highly recommend reading his books. He's done a couple of books, including one based on his hitchhiking adventures, where he would just go home with people, have dinners.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
I have to say, if I saw John Waters on the side of the road, I'd be like, Mr. Waters,
I got some
cook you
food in
dinner?
the back, man.
Can I cook you dinner? I probably would do it.
We're going to stop by the podcast studio for an interview, then we're going
That's
home.
right. I won't make you sit through Pink Flamingos and commentate for it. For me, what the hell was going through your mind?
Because I know you've already been asked to.
Yeah. But, I highly recommend the original. It's a very fun film.
What would you say out of the remake is your favorite part?
Probably the song Good Morning Baltimore. I had
a-
high hopes for the film at that point because I was like, that's actually a good song.
It's a solid opener.
It's a solid opener.
Yeah.
And then the scene, oddly, between Travolta and Walken with their song and dance number. I actually kind of liked that too because it was very sweet.
It was. They conveyed a... Because there's character development throughout that scene. Because she goes from mad to realize how...
that he actually does love her, right?
Yeah,
because
foolish to think that something would be happening.
She sees him, with Michelle Pfeiffer in his arms, and good Lord, why would you choose Michelle Pfeiffer over John Travolta in drag and a 300-pound fat suit?
Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
But that and anything with James Marsden, because I did actually really like his Courtney Collins.
I did. It was he is the one thing that he is incredibly great at throughout his career is when he plays the affable everyman.
Yeah.
He might be one of America's most underrated everymen.
Yeah.
That's why I love him so much in Westworld.
Yes.
That's why I loved him here. He was just the dude who wanted to do his show.
Yeah. And that's why I don't think he was a very good Cyclops.
Oh, he's a horrible Cyclops, but it was also a badly written Cyclops.
That was a badly written Cyclops.
Also, Cyclops just sucks as a character.
Oh, come on.
But yeah, I like seeing when Marsden pops up and does things.
Yeah.
If I hear Marsden's names in there, I'm like, oh, well, maybe I will check this out.
I follow a website called Tom and Lorenzo. It's two gay fashionistas.
Mm-hmm.
And they hate him because he looks so perfect all the time. Because they'll show a picture of him and their only comment will be, and look at this bitch. They have never said, it's always just, and then this bitch showed up.
Damn, James. You out there wrecking them like that, huh?
But he does. He's a very fashionable guy. And he
is.
looks so put together every time he walks out the door. So it's like, damn.
Got that image to maintain.
So, but yeah, I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
And then I liked Queen Latifah as Motor Mouth. I liked performances throughout the film. There's not one set scene where I was like, oh, that was just great.
Yeah, the sum is not greater than the parts.
Right.
Yeah, there's a couple things here, there's a couple things here. I can agree with that.
Yeah. So please, anybody, please do not ever remake Pink Flamingos. I don't want to sit through.
Would you sit through another remake of Hairspray?
If it's a non-musical, I might, depending on who they had.
Okay.
The 88 version, there's no great actors there. Because
No.
half the cast are not actors. I mean, Rick Ocasek, Deborah Harry, Pia Zadora. Sorry, she's not an actor. These are not actors. Even Divine. Divine's an actor, but in a very specific way.
Even Jerry Stiller, when he shows up to things, he's just Jerry Stiller.
Just Jerry Stiller.
In everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're not great actors, but they're doing such a earnest job with the material. I would have to say if they did a remake and it was all like high-end actors, I probably would not want to watch it because I'm like, they're just going to seem like they're trying too hard.
Right. I agree with that.
And I don't think you can recast Divine easily.
No. What are you gonna do? No, you can't. Who? Nobody. The only person I would trust with that is Philip Seymour Hoffman, and he's no
gone.
longer with us. Yeah. All right. Well, we got about 10 minutes left. So.
Oh wow, that one went quick.
Yeah, it did.
It's a fairly standard, fairy tale story.
It is. It's got some familiar beats to all your other types of.
I just like that the fat girl kind of comes out on top.
She does, and every once in a while, it's okay when the fat girl's on top.
Yeah. Knew that was coming.
She knew it was coming as well.
Yeah. So should we pull up the list?
Let us, Miss Coles, pull up the list.
So give me one moment. You're probably going to edit this because I got to sift through all of my...
You know what? I'm going to forget to.
Here it is. Okay. So removing Hairspray.
Hairspray is off the list. You will never hear Hairspray again on Refried Scenes.
Not on Refried Scenes. Not unless they actually, remake
2020, we didn't know it. They're announcing it. I guess we can almost put West Side Story on that list now because that comes out this year, doesn't it?
Oh, God, they're remaking West Side Story?
Spielberg is. I think it's like one of the last movies.
Has he gone crazy?
He has. Old man's gone crazy.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's another walkie-talkies instead of gun scene, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is going to have a happy ending, isn't it? Everyone's going to live.
Well, it is. I've never heard someone so disgusted that people are going to live at the end of a...
God damn it, it's Romeo and Juliet. Kill them all.
Okay, so they pushed it back. They pushed it back to, it's December of next year.
Oh, they're gunning for an Oscar.
So... Maybe the very last 2020 episode of Refried Scene.
Oh God! But I don't like West Side.
Nah,
I don't like Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, I fucking love Romeo and Juliet.
No, there's only one good character in Romeo and Juliet, and that's Mercutio.
I was gonna say Tybalt, but yeah, I can get down with some Mercutio. Well, one kills the other, so I guess that makes sense.
Yes. But yeah, it's just a bad story, weekend love affair that ends in 6 deaths.
Mercutio's got some good lines in there.
Okay, so number 1. Okay, I'm showing number 1.
That was what the randomizer gave us?
That was the randomizer.
Oh, well,
Dude,
okay.
How often does that happen?
Not too.
And number 1 is Ocean's 11.
This morning, I told my coworker, hey, do me a favor. Never watch the original Ocean's 11.
I've not seen the original.
Whew. You are in for a ride.
It stars Frank Sinatra, right?
Is the whole Rat Pack in there, man?
Jesus.
Sinatra, Dean, Sammy, Pete Lawford, Joe Bishop, Angie Dickinson.
Oh my God. Poor Angie Dickinson. I always felt sorry for her hanging around with that bunch of
animals.
assholes.
Just a bunch of animals.
Okay, well.
Yeah, well then, Oceans it is coming up next month.
Next month is Ocean's 11. Damn.
No, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Oh, we were going to do...
was it Black Christmas?
Black Christmas.
Now, do we want to do the Black Christmas idea or do we just want to roll with Oceans?
Let's do Black Christmas.
Okay.
Okay. Roll again.
So, if I remember correctly, we discussed this. The plan was we were going to watch the original Black Christmas.
Yes, the Bob Clark joint.
And then was the plan to try to watch
the new one in the theater.
All right, then. And do we want to try to catch that together?
Yeah, sure.
All right, then. Cool. And did we want to try to do the show as soon after that as possible?
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
That works for me.
All right, then.
So, yeah. So
you get a month reprieve from Ocean's 11.
Ignore Ocean's 11 next month. We're doing Black Christmas. So we're
Christmas.
back to the horrors.
People out there like,
No!
How?
Well, they haven't remade A Christmas Story, so...
Yeah, this one just...
And don't ever remake A Christmas Story.
No.
Don't touch it.
No, don't touch it. Okay, so next month's going to be Black Christmas. January is going to be our...
Ocean's 11.
It's going to be Ocean's 11. Boy, is that going to be interesting. All right, then. You got anything else before we dip on out of here?
No.
All right, then. Well, until then, we will be back with...
Let us know what your favorite John Waters film is. I'm curious out there what other people think of John Waters. I like a lot of oddball directors. I like David Lynch.
Cannot stand that man and his body of work.
I love him so much.
I probably don't know if I'm mentioning on this show, but I got to go out to L.A. in January for Critics' Choice Awards. If I see Lynch in the bathroom, it's just going to be a scrap. We're fighting. We're fighting for what he did to Dune. We're fighting for Eraserhead. We're fighting for whatever the fuck Twin Peaks was.
You can't blame him all for Dune, man. That was a lot of studio interference.
I thought you were going to say a lot of cocaine, but
That too, the spice flowed.
bags of spice were
Bags
all
of
over
spice
that.
all over the place.
Kilos of spice.
And I actually kind of like Eraserhead stuff.
Oh, well, I guess that makes one of us.
I just felt sorry for Jack Nance, who had to carry that hairdo for 5 years.
Right.
The 5 years it took to film that thing.
Jesus Christ, his hair was bald for the rest of his life. Yeah, so let us know what you think about John Waters.
What do you think his favorite film is?
I'll have to put that post up on Pop Riga to see what people are talking about.
Yeah.
See if we can't get some Waters discussion in there. Until then, next month we'll be talking about Black Christmas. And that's it, man. You guys take it easy and have a good one out there.
Happy Thanksgiving.